Next is what is on everyone's minds during the um, when a child is in 10th grade. It's a very crucial time for all, and this is the time when everyone has this, what next, because the child was normally asked to choose, you know, what subject they would want to be pursuing in the future. And that's a really difficult decision, especially for a 16-year-old, in today's world when there are so many different options that we have. It becomes very, very difficult to decide exactly what's the right decision. Yeah. Um, so what next is what is on everyone's mind, and that's what we're going to explore today. So at Deans, what we normally pursue and think about is study hard, study smart, be serious, but enjoy everything, because you're never going to get that 16 years to 18 years, the really sweet years of your life. It's not something that comes back. It's not a time that's going to return. So you should be serious, and you'll have a lot, I remember when I was 16, 18, I barely ever slept. So this is the time when you enjoy yourself, and at the same time, you need to be really serious about your studies. And based on that is what the Dean's Year Planners created. We give the children a lot of opportunities to have a lot of fun while they are studying. So it's not all about 12 hours, 14 hours of studying, but also about, participating in a school band, and having MUN sessions, and you know uh, having all these inter-school competitions, sports, everything is. And then of course a lot of fun workshops based on which their learning can happen at the same time, while preparing for the IIT while preparing for the future courses. At the same time also, they need to be having a lot of fun. If you think that our children are having only fun, you can have a look at our results. These are children who have just got 99 plus, and who have got in all their subjects. So if you see, this is just 100% of the result, people who have got 99 and 100 last year in their subjects. This is all our, the results. These are published on our website. You can actually go to CBSE results and see over the last 8 years, about more than 50 to 60% of our class normally gets above 95%. The rest of them get it in their 90s. And then, our lowest percentages are normally around 85, 86 is the lowest percentage that the children go to. So we have maintained the results to be, above 95%. This is how we do it, basically by having very small numbers and engaging the children in a smart way to study, where they're having a lot of fun. Here's how we do it on the route to excellence is our school motto. Dean's Academy offers grade 11 in two formats. The first format is the CBSE Senior Secondary at Whitefield campus. And we also offer an integrated course, Karnataka State Board at the Gunjur campus. Now, why did we choose this? Basically, it's the same book. So the curriculum and the books are exactly the same, only slightly different assessment patterns. We wanted to be able to cater to everyone. Sometimes we have children in our own school who are not able to match the rigor that is needed for CBSE, or they want to concentrate all their efforts for the entrance exams. So, which is why our own staff, the teachers of Deans itself, who have been with us for many years, they have decided to go with the integrated courses in the Gunjur campus. Also, it is a prelude to us opening a college in the future. In the next few years, we hopefully would like to open a BA, BCom, BSc at the Gunjur campus, because of which we are doing PUC at this time. It's a tough 2 years, not just for children, but for everyone in every business. And there is an acronym for it. It's called VUCA. VUCA is volatility. Number one, we don't really know what the situation is like, uncertainty. It's so complex and it's so ambiguous. So this is something that how our lives have been the last 2 years. So I'm going to see how VUCA works for children and how, especially a child in 10th grade, is going to be dealing with the current situation. So the first one is volatility. A 10th grader will work with vision. So basically, when the situation is so volatile, you do not know if the subjects you're choosing are going to even exist in the future. So that is the kind of uncertainty that our children go through right now. The only thing that you can work with right now, which is what we tell our students, is have a vision, have a base idea. I look at myself pursuing physics for 20 years from now. I enjoy plants and botany for 20 years from now. I enjoy design from it. Even if there's mathematics, I enjoy maths and numbers for a very, very long time. So basically, the vision will help them. The number one, they need to feel in their gut what is something that I'm comfortable doing for a very, very long time. It's not about, you know, दो साल manage करने दो maths के साथ. That is not how they should be thinking. The thought needs to be that what am I ready to do for a very, very long time? And believe me, today there are enough jobs and there are enough opportunities to get everyone to do exactly what they are comfortable doing. The next one is understanding. So uncertainty can be dealt with understanding. So based on what you like to do, so I like to do physics, then I can look at, say, a job in Navy, flying, I can do engineering, I can do so many other things. So you, based on what you like to do, you explore all the avenues and options that they have, which will give them a career of their choice. So how to deal with uncertainty is to get an understanding of what are the options which are available in those subjects. Today, like I said, even, a simple thing like with physics, you can become a sound engineer. You could be someone who produces music. So, you have all those kinds of, there are so many options that you can do with just what you like to do. Then, of course, you have the complexity. The situation is very complex. You do it by having clarity. That is, I have, I know parents who said, my child loves filmmaking. He is extremely good at filmmaking. He's extremely good at story writing, but let him become an engineer, which means you want your child to have a choice, career of his choice, or interest of his choice. You want him to start it at 24. So you think about it, whether in the current situation, having a date and time at which you start doing what you want to do. So every child at this age should not say, I'm going to be studying endlessly. That does not work. You have a goal, say by so and so time, I should be doing exactly what I want to do. So you plan according to, you have your goals with a timeline. Say by this time I should be here. So that kind of clarity is something that you need to sit down and rethink. And last but not the least, have the agility, which means this is something just to protect yourself from the stress. And that happens by when you are ready to change. When the situation is not working out for you, you need to change. Like I know children who are extremely disappointed. Oh, my NEET went very badly, or my IIT JEE went very badly. I've not got selected. What's the next immediately? That the agility should be there. You should not really get so disappointed that you don't know what to do with yourself. So there are always answers, no matter which condition you are in. You could be like a average student, you could be doing really bad at education. At the same time, there are so many options that you have, which is why you need to be agile, and you will realize that there are tons of ways and there are tons of methods in which you can get the goal that you want to get. So that agility needs to be there, and the children never give up attitude needs to be there. How do we prepare us for the students for it? We constantly put change on top of everything else. Say that when there is a situation, how am I going to get my goal? The same thing when it comes to events in our school, when you have projects in our school, when there are projects, when there's lab activities, simple things like every time there is a change in the situation, you transform yourself very early in the game. We readjust, we rethink. if you're ready, if we had constantly waited, oh, let the lockdown finish, then we will start. Let the lockdown finish, then we will start. Then what happens is when you plan that way, you are not really getting what you need to get. You are going to be waiting away for everything to come back to normal. It does not. You're ready and think that change is what is constant. When there is based on how it is changing, you constantly modify yourself, you transform yourself, you adjust yourself for the change. Looking at some careers, the careers, like I said, agriculture is coming up in a huge way, biomedical, marine engineering, geomapping, occupational therapy, alternative medicines. Like people say, I want to be a doctor today. An alternative medicine person has as much of a career. There are tons of people, including people like myself, who probably believe in Ayurveda or believe in homeopathy more. It's not supposed to be a second degree. It could be a primary degree. It could be something that you want to do. Again, something like nutrition, psychology coming up in a very big way. When it comes to commerce subjects, again, I was shocked when I went to a school and realized there's no one BCom anymore. There were 8 combinations of BCom. When I went to Christ College and looked at them, there are 8 BCom and 8 BBA. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like that many number of combinations in just a BCom degree or a BBA degree. That's how many. So today you have specializations in healthcare management, specialization in communication management, or statistics and planning, or taxation. So that, that there's that many combinations for everything that they want. Same thing with humanities. You have also something called skill courses, which is something which we are pushing for our children all the way from 8th standard, asking them to pick up a skill, which could be a culinary skill, could be jewelry making, should be drawing, would be painting, could be fashion design, or, again, be a music producer, produce music, be a media technician. These careers are as paying or as successful as any other, as being a doctor or an engineer. Those are very, very rewarding careers as well. Then, of course, there's LLB, which is again really picked up precedence now, and at the PU college, in fact, you even support them in their pursuit of preparation for CLAT. The Dean's Edge, Dean's Academy offers, like I said, grade 11 at CBSE in the Whitefield campus. This is on ECC Road. You'll see that big, beautiful green campus in front is ECC, the Ecumenical Christian Center. And on the same road opposite the ECC campus is where you have the Dean's Academy Whitefield. And Dean's PU College is at Gunjur, which is about 2.5 kilometers from the Vartur police station. This is where my office is. This is where we are speaking to you from. Gunjur is a very upcoming area of late, which, for the Dean's Edge is very spacious, airy classrooms. We are not getting children to always just sit down, but at the same time, while they move around, while they work in groups, the classrooms and the facilities are best and state of art. Every single classroom is equipped with a projector and screen and smart boards. We have very well equipped libraries, not just regular with 16,000 books, but also we have a digital library, which is equally good. We have very well equipped labs. Again, the children are not sharing the workspaces. We have separate workspaces for each child, and very qualified personnel who are taking care of the children. So our teachers' qualifications are all published on the website. You can look, including even the person who's assisting them, the assistant, the lab assistant themselves are normally people with at least BSc degrees. We offer sciences in 8 combinations. So you have PCM. With PCM, you have 5 or 6 combinations. So you have PCM with biology, PCM with computer science, PCM with economics, PCM with design, PCM with psychology, and PCM with physical education. If a child wants to pursue without maths, you have PCB with psychology. That is if you're wanting to pursue NEET, or PCB with physical education. Again, where you're going to be concentrating on anatomy and things like that. So PCB, physical education, would help you out with that. In the PUC integrated courses, since the focus is primarily on preparation for IIT JEE, for KSET and for NEET, so we have sciences only in two combination, PCMB and PCMC. So these are the only two combinations that we offer in the PUC integrated courses. For commerce and CBSE, we have 5 combinations. The base subjects are accountancy, economics, business studies. Along with business studies, we have business maths. Otherwise, you do not want to do maths, you have entrepreneurship with AEB, or you have design with AEB, and then you have physical education with AEB. So these are the 4 combinations in CBSE, and in PUC integrated, again, because your concentration is on preparing for CA Inter and rest of it. So and entrance exams for even BCom. So which is why you have economics, business studies, accountancy with computer science in the PUC integrated course. The combinations for humanities, you have the base subjects, which is mainly political science and psychology. So you have it with economics and entrepreneurship. You have it with design. You have it with political science and PE. And then you have it with business studies. So this is again primarily like commerce without accountancy. Then you have, you don't want to do economics, you just want to pursue entrepreneurship with design. You have the 5th combination in humanities. You do not offer history in CBSE, but in PUC we offer history and political science and psychology, again because there are a lot of children who want to pursue civil services in the future. The fee structure for both the deans, CBSE and the PU college, are published on the website. So you would need to be paying this within 1 week of the admission offer. It is quite a big amount, which is why we are publishing it well in advance. The admission process, right now, because we have limited seats, so in both the Whitefield campus and in PUC Gunjur, the maximum strength at any point of time is 120. We have 2 sections of science, 60 children, and 2 sections of humanities and commerce, which will be another 60 children. For them, because there's such a small number and we do not want that rush of fastest fingers first, we have a waiting list form, which is just a regular Google form. You just need to mention the child's name, the child's preference of what combination they want to take, and again we have something called a date of exam. We are having exams only on 2 dates, which is October 9th and October 23rd. So you need to choose which date you want your child to attend the exam. Based on availability of seats, we will give you an application form. To fill the application form, once we send you the application form, you will still have 24 hours to fill it up. You will need soft copies of photographs of your child. Your child needs to look like how the child will look when they come to write the exam, because we want to recognize them, so you cannot have a very baby picture there. Then birth certificate, last mark sheet, and any other supporting documents need to be uploaded. They can all be mobile uploads. So we don't need a scanned copy. You can just take a picture with your mobile and upload it. The exam dates, as I said, it's presently only October 9th and 23rd. We are also exploring 8th of October. So these are the 3 dates as of now. We will select the children after all the, like we've already had 1 set for our children, which is on 25th of September, but we will add all of them. And once we have collated the results for everyone, then only we will be publishing the results. So the results would be published normally in the first week of November, just before or just after Diwali. The results will be announced, like I said, yeah, just before or after Diwali. The admission process, it is only and only based on a diagnostic written assessment, because the last 2 years most children have had online exams, which means I can't really rely on how authentic the online assessment of a child has been in their school. So we are not looking at previous records at all, even though it is part of the admission application form. I am not considering the admission based on any previous record of the child. It is only and only based on the assessment which they are going to be undertaking with us. What will the child be tested on? The child will be tested on the subjects that the child has opted for, which means if the child has opted for PCMB, then a child will be tested in physics, chemistry, maths, and biology. If the child has AEBM, accounts, economics, business math, business studies, is what they're going to get tested on. The questions are all, 90% of them are multiple choice questions or short answers. Mathematics, of course, you need to put all the steps down, and all those kinds of questions will be there, where we would want you to kind of put all the, so you get marking scheme even for the steps. But for all 90% of the other subjects, it is just short answers, which means we're not looking at more than 2-line, 3-line answers. In English, there is an essay. Yes, English is compulsory for both. So you will have a small essay of about 5 to 6 lines that you would need to put. All curriculum is not going to be out of the syllabus. It's going to be what they have studied in school, say from 8th, 9th grade onwards, 8th, 9th, 10th. So it will be concepts that have been covered in school. So it is not, people say, oh, but then, political science, it's not been covered. No, we are looking at civics, which is taught in high school, and a little bit of course, of what is, coming in newspaper. So you should know who's your home minister, who is your finance minister, who is the Chief Justice of India, things like that. In addition, like I said, you will have English, and if you're applying for PUC, there is a second language as well which you need to attempt. What about unknown subjects? Like I said, no, parents come back and say, what about economics? What about accountancy? Economics is from 9th and 10th grade economics. Accountancy are maths concepts based on accountancy, which means you will have percentage, ratio, mean, median, mode, bar graphs, those kinds of questions which will come in. Common interest, compound, simple interest, compound interest, those kinds of questions will come in accountancy. In entrepreneurship, again, it's multiple choice questions. Who is like a primary producer, secondary producer, things that the children have learned in 8th grade, 9th grade. Design, again, it's only design thinking of a child, which means, you may have a question which will be a child, design all the decorations and the gifts and everything for a pirate party, or a poster for a particular competition in school. So it could be just to do design thinking, to see the creativity of the child. Common complaints. Number one complaint is always that these portions were not covered in school. We have taken care that it is not only a CBSE based paper. It's based on general concepts which is taught in ICSE, CBSE, IB, everything which is, for that particular subject, which in 8th, 9th, and 10th. Results, I already gave you the answer. The result is, because I need to be checking all 3 batches, people who have written till 23rd October. I will look at results of everyone before we select 120 children. For design, if your child is good at drawing, we are not looking only at drawing, we are looking at the entire concept. Are they able to gain what is it that we ask for? When we ask for a pirate party, or you ask for, say, designing a cup for a particular sports, or design a company logo. So we are looking at whether the child is able to get the design concepts. Again, in maths and physics, if a child is great at school and not sure what, because again, there are a few, at least about 5 or 6 questions which will be maths or physics, which is application based questions, which may have 2 concepts added together, where the child, and 90% of the time it's extremely simple, and the child thinks, why would they ask me perimeter of a parallelogram? I've had parents, kids who come back and said, but ma'am, but that's not in the portion. But then by about 7th or 8th standard, you have learned perimeter of a parallelogram. You just have to add up the 4 sides. So you have to think, sometimes the questions are very basic, and they need to look at it. Again, why so early? What if a child changes their mind? Yes, we would allow you to apply for more than one combination. We will work out, the dates accordingly, 8th, 9th, and 23rd, or any day in middle where if you have applied for more than one combination, we'll work out which exams you can write on what date. Again, there is no passing score again, and the number of class students in the class, that does not come into play, because we select, we need about 60 students in a physics class, whereas in a bio class or a design class, it's only 30 students. So we will decide based on the qualifying score, and based on the number of seats that we have, the top scorers will be given the admission. So it's literally level playing field. Like I said, the dates are on Saturday, which is 9th October. Again, Saturday, which is 23rd October. We may have one on 8th October, and possibly we will have maybe on 22nd October as well. So there will be at least 2-3 other dates, which may be weekdays, but weekends we are having only 9th and 23rd October. The number of seats for physics, chemistry, maths, and economics is 60 seats. It's 30 seats for other subjects. And then this is the same for CBSE and PUC. And because we have so many events planned in the middle of their closer courses, so we don't wait for the board exam results to be published before we start at the school. The school normally starts in April or May itself. So you need to plan your, right after board exams, we normally like to get them started, get them meet up with their friends, get to know them better. So we do have, some amount of warm up before, and also, few chapters that get done in April, May itself. So the children will need to join school right after writing their board exams. The Dean's Extras, like I said, number one is, unlike a lot of other coaching institutes which parents like to send children to, that age between 16 and 18, we want them to have some exposure to music, sports, participation in inter-school competitions. That's something that we do extensively. Again, the students they try to give them as much, even if it's a PU college, even if it's a CBSE college, we say, the syllabus is NCERT syllabus, which means you need to only study according to what the government mandates. Is just purely studies. But if from the school perspective, from Dean's perspective, whether it is CBSE or PUC, we provide a lot of real life case studies. We have people from the industry who come and talk to the children. We have career guidance sessions. We have personality and skill development sessions along with the regular studies. Then, of course, we have a lot of encouragement, because you have small groups. The teacher and children are very small groups. Everyone knows everyone. So there is a lot of support that the child gets. Our mentors, we have Tina Sebastian, who is the headmistress of the Whitefield campus, and Ms. Chandra Iyer, the principal of the PU college, who are mentoring the students. The qualifications of teachers and the experience, the average experience that teachers have in our school is about 10 to 12 years of experience. You can look at their biodata on our website. We also have in-house student counselors who are constantly, supporting and ready to listen to the children at both the Whitefield and the Gunjur campus. This is Shanti Menon, is our founding principal. She mentors all the different parts of the school and different campuses. So she would be meeting the children before the admission is done. This is Hamsini Murthy, that's me, and Ms. Shweta Bhargava and our admission office is located at the PU block at the Gunjur campus. We do not have personal meetings at this time, but you are most welcome to write to us or call us right after this meeting by about 11:30 or so. We open 11 o'clock. We open the calls till any day between 8:30 and 12. The phone number is also there. If you don't get through, write to us. We will call you back. Thank you so much for your time. I'm opening for questions now. I would request you to please, raise your hand if you have any queries. I would be very happy to answer you. Otherwise, I think Shweta has already begun chatting, even though I told her you have to wait till the end of the presentation. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good morning, ma'am.